Hi guys, welcome to Tamina's World. So I thought I'd do something a little different. Sorry about this rocking on the bed again. Sorry. Um, and I would do a story time. So we're going to go back to, say I'm about 17, 18. And I was with one of my first boyfriends, and I actually spent the weekend with my best friend at the time. Her name is Bree, and we were going to have a few drinks at a friend's house. And I was actually home alone on the weekend because my partner at the time had gone away down to Melbourne to work. So, while, I was home alone, we thought it would be great, and, we'd drink a lot and have fun because that's what 17 and 18-year-olds do. And I remember that my boyfriend at the time gave me like $50 credit on my phone, so I could call him while he was down in Melbourne working. So, it gets to the time, we're getting ready for this party, and it wasn't my close friends, but it was my best friend's close friends. So mainly they were all boys. And we went to, say, Mark's house. We'll call the person Mark, but the person's name's something different. We went to his house, and there was a pro skater there, and a few other guys there, and we continued drinking. So we decided that we would catch a taxi over to a party that we heard of that night. So we didn't have enough money, so we ended up deciding to walk. It was in the middle of winter, and we walked halfway there. And by the time we got halfway there, like, we needed to go to the toilet, me and my best friend. So I gave my can of drink to one of the boys, and we went to the toilet in the bush. And, once you go to the toilet after drinking, you continue to want to go. So we got our cans and stuff, and I remember them saying, oh, we should just go back to the house, like, the party's getting shut down, like, there's no point going to this party, basically. So at the time, my dad would drive the club bus, so like the courtesy bus for the club. So I rang him on my mobile and said, look, can you come and pick us up? There's a whole heap of us. Can you come and pick us up? So he said he'd be about 20 minutes. So we waited where we were, and he ended up coming and picking us up. And when I got on the bus, pardon me, I remember him saying, like, Tamina, are you okay? Like, you seem not okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And then from that point, I don't really remember much. But what I do remember is, I'll tell you. So somehow, obviously, we got back to the house, and I remember not feeling right. I remember feeling kind of like I didn't know what was going on. I felt like I was coming in and out of consciousness, but my best friend said that I was acting normal, talking and stuff like that. I remember just saying to them, I need a shower, because subconsciously I must have been thinking, I need to snap myself out of this, whatever was happening to me. And I knew it wasn't the alcohol, because I'd only drank, like, say, a few cans of alcohol. And I remember just thinking, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I just can't snap out of this feeling that I felt. And the thing that scared me is that I woke up or come to what was happening. I was standing in a shower because I'd kept on asking to have a shower. So they were like, yeah, go have a shower. And at first I thought, oh my God, I've been raped or someone had done something to me. So I kind of checked myself and that. And, I hopped out of the shower and checked both the doors because it was like two doors, like one to a room and one to the outside. And they were both locked. So I'd locked myself in the bathroom. So I knew that I'd done that, and no one else was in the bathroom with me. So then my best friend was knocking on the door, asking me where. Sorry, this keeps on knocking. 1 second. Yeah, my best friend asked, like, what are you doing there? Like, you've been in there for a really, really long time. And I was just like trying to get my head around, like, how I ended up in there, like, what's going on? Why do I feel like this? And by that time, she was drunk. I'd stopped drinking long before then. And she was like, come on, like, let's go. And I was like, all right. So I got out of the shower. And I remember that I kept on trying to make calls, but I didn't know how to use my phone. So I kept on making calls to, the boyfriend at the time. And he wasn't answering, and like he ended up getting the shits with me because obviously I was ringing and hanging up. I didn't know how to use my phone, and I didn't know what was going on, and it was just crazy. I just felt disorientated and just like something was not right. So then I said to Brie, my friend, I said, come on, let's go. But at the time she was there with her boyfriend and she wanted to stay the night in a room. And I was like, no, I just need to go home. I need to go home. So two of the boys said to me, look, we'll walk you home. So I was just like, I just need to get home. Like, I need to be out of this. I just need to get home. So where I lived was quite a walk. It was in the middle of winter. So they end up walking me home. I don't even remember the walk home. And I got home. They walked me inside. And then they left. From then onwards, I was trying to contact my mum or my sister because I didn't feel right and something was not right, and I couldn't use the phone. Like, it was like my brain wasn't working. Like, I just couldn't work the phone or couldn't find their numbers in my phone, or just everything was all over the place, and I knew something was like seriously wrong. And then I started feeling really sick, like really ill. So I think it was like by the time I'd started to feel fine, it was like, I think like 5 in the morning. And by that time I ended up ringing my sister and she answered, and I kind of didn't make sense on the phone. So she comes straight to my house. And she was like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? And I'm taking you to the hospital. So I end up hopping in the car, and like, we never told mum because mum would lose her shit and want to know where the hell I was and what was happening. So I'm just going to hold on to this because it's so annoying, wobbling around. So then I hopped in the car, so we went to the hospital, and on the way there I was like continuously vomiting, and I was just like, something is like not right, like someone must have spiked me or something. So we ended up getting to the hospital, and they ended up putting a drip in me and taking my blood, and they tested my blood for drugs or whatever. So they end up coming in. I had passed out by that time, asleep. And they'd come and woke me up, and they said, look, you've been basically, the date rape drug is in your system, and, have you taken anything like willingly or, and I was like, no. And I was like in shock that any of those boys could do something like that. Thankfully, no one done anything to me, but still I was in shock, thinking like, what the hell happened? Like, who did this? So after that, I stayed in the hospital for like probably half the day on just fluids and stuff, and then I started to feel better, and I ended up going home. And when I came to, I found that my best friend, pardon me, my best friend had found out that the boys had videotaped us kissing and stuff like that. And my brother went around there and threatened to, bash all of them and delete the footage that they had all taped on their phones of me and my best friend kissing and dancing and stuff like that, which I don't remember any of it, and either does she. So she must have had the same thing happen to her. So in the end, that got deleted. We never found out who done it or who gave us the drugs. All I know is that we did hand our drinks to quite a few different people when we were going to the toilet in the bush or whatever on our walk to the party. And yeah, so in the end, that's how that ended. And then the next day, when I came home, my boyfriend at the time had come home, and he was having a shower and his phone went off, and I looked on his phone and read the message saying, "Thanks, baby, for the weekend that we had together." And then I lost it. So I literally kicked in the bathroom door, and he was like saying, "Oh, you're crazy," and stuff like that. But that's another story. So that happened all in that period of like 2 days. And let's just say that, yeah, that obviously didn't work out. But it was just a bit of a story time. I've got lots of crazy stories from when I was younger, that stupid things that I've done, stupid situations I've been put in or put myself in. But that was just one of them. So always be careful, who you leave your drink to and who you have in company, and that you trust everyone that, is around you. Because I can't even remember, like the feeling was just like it was out of body kind of feeling. I didn't know what was going on, or, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't ask for help. I couldn't fix the issue. So it was just really horrible. I'll never ever forget that night. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening to my story time, and I will see you in our next video. Bye.